Good morning, guys, and welcome to today's video. I am jumping on quickly to film a little introduction for you guys. Today's video is going to be a what we eat in a day, but more specifically what Lily eats in a day and what I eat in a day as a 27-year-old mom and Lily at a 14-month-old toddler. The last time I filmed one of these videos, she was, I think, like 9 months, and even at that point she was not all that comfortable eating solids and she really didn't eat too much in a day. But a lot has changed since then, and even with that, her eating patterns are definitely different from what the boys' eating patterns were at this age. So I thought it'd be interesting to share with you guys what she eats as a 14-month-old toddler and then what I eat as a stay-at-home 27-year-old mom. I decided to cut out the boys because their eating patterns have been pretty consistent over the last like 2 years. As you guys know, they have their chocolate milk in the morning, and I just filmed a morning routine where that obviously would have shown what they eat for breakfast, what I pack for lunch for them for camp. So I decided to cut them out of this video just because I felt like it was pretty repetitive. I can link other what we eat in a day videos where I share what the boys eat in a day, and it is pretty much still the same even now. So today we're focusing on what little Lily eats in a day as a 14-month-old, her milk schedule, what solid she eats, what time she eats, kind of a peek at her daily schedule even, and then what I eat. So I'm going to cut back to the footage of what we had for breakfast this morning. We're currently at Target picking up some yogurts for the boys. And so once we get home, she'll have her little like mid-morning breakfast slash snack. So let's cut to the morning, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and with that being said, let's get into it. Okay, starting off the morning, Lily of course has to start her day with a bottle. She still is taking the Dr. Brown's physical bottles, but she has the little sippy cup nipples on top. Typically, I just get her whole milk from Target because it's the cheapest, and in the morning she does have her biggest bottle, which is 8 ounces. The mornings for us as of right now, since I have to do the camp drop-off, are just too hectic for me to figure out a breakfast time for her. So she doesn't formally eat breakfast, but once the boys get started on school and the bus will come pick them up, I can then set aside time to give her breakfast in the morning. So the 8 ounces of milk get put into a microwave-safe mug, and I warm it for about 30 seconds, which is just enough time to take the chill out. It's not necessarily warm milk, but if it is super cold, it does take her longer to drink. On any given morning, she has her first milk of the day at around 6:45 to 7:15 a.m. It really just depends on the time she gets up. Typically, if she wakes up before 6:45, she does lay in her bed until around 6:45. That is when I get up for the day. But there are some mornings where she sleeps a little bit later than that. So anywhere between 6:45 and 7:15, she gets her first milk of the day. And of course, she drinks the entire thing in probably 2 minutes flat. So once she's done with that and all settled and the boys are up and ready for the day, I do go ahead and make my breakfast. And if you know anything about me, I am a food hyperfixation girly, and I've been having 2 slices of cinnamon toast, this Pepperidge Farm cinnamon toast, for breakfast for probably years at this point. And I do also have some coffee in the morning. Harris's sister accidentally sent 2 coffees to his parents' house, and so I was contemplating if I was going to try and spruce one of those up just so that they got drank. The coffee that I typically drink is the Nature's Promise organic cold brew coffee. I did decide on taking one of those grande Starbucks. They were, I think, like 2 shots of espresso shaken with almond milk. I decided to just take that and dump it into my cup, and then I top it off with all of a splash of the Nature's Promise coffee. And then the creamer, I am a diehard Chobani creamer fan. This seasonal flavor is roasted marshmallow, I think it is, or s'mores. It was a limited batch, and I found it a few months ago and fell in love with it and then couldn't find it again, but I found it again at my Target, and so while it's there, I had to pick some more up. It is so good. I typically have my cinnamon toast with butter. I'm not really picky on my butter, but I do like a salted butter. So this is the butter I used today, and I of course ate all of that. And then after we went to Target to run an errand, I wound up picking myself up a Perfect bar, and I'm very glad that I did, because upon getting home, Harris's mom asked if we wanted to go on a walk. So I quickly cut up one of these granola bars for Lily as a breakfast. Harris's dad also does typically get me a grande coffee every day, so I brought that in the car with me. And then Lily wound up having her morning snack, is what I call it. It's not a full set big breakfast. It's typically a granola bar. She had that on the walk. She had a little teether on the walk, as well as a bunch of these peanut butter bombas. I of course had to chug my water getting back to the car, and unfortunately my coffee did melt because I forgot to bring it on the walk with us. But once we got home, this would typically be Lily's nap time. We are trying to transition her to one nap, but she did sleep on the car ride to the walk and the car ride home from the walk. So I decided to bring her in and give her her midday bottle. This bottle ranges anywhere between like 11 and 2. It really just depends on her naps. I decided to give that to her because she really didn't eat all that much. She didn't get a lunch, considering she only had the bombas and the teethers really for a lunch. So I decided to give her 6 ounces of whole milk to hopefully tide her over. I also changed her diaper and put her in for a nap. And during this time, I usually go ahead and make myself lunch. It really wasn't seeming like she was going to settle, so I decided to make myself lunch and eat something and then see how the rest of the day went. It was 1 o'clock at this point, and I had to start prepping dinner. I was going to be making taco bowls for dinner on this night, and I had to get the chicken in the slow cooker to cook for at least 4 hours. So I went ahead and prepped that before I made myself some lunch. To make the chicken, I use boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I arrange those into my slow cooker, and then I throw in about half a packet of taco seasoning. I'm really not picky on what brand. This is just the Stop and Shop brand. I use about half a pack of that, and then I'll also take the liquid and a little bit of the contents of this pico de gallo just to give some liquid to the chicken to help it cook, but also give it some more flavor. So I just dump a little bit of that in there, and then I set it to cook on high for 4 hours. I wound up turning it to low at 3 hours because it was pretty much fully cooked through. This little cooker my mom got me, I have a real one, it's in storage, but my mom got me this smaller one and it works so good. And then as for lunch for myself, I had this avocado that needed to be eaten, so I decided to make myself a little egg sandwich. I used an everything bagel. These are the Stop and Shop brand ones. Toasted that for a little bit and then used 1 egg, made a little omelet with that with a slice of American cheese, and then put it all on the bagel together with some avocado, salt, and pepper. And unfortunately at this point, Lily was not asleep yet. I think it was like 1:30 at this point, and she wasn't settling, so I decided to take her out just on the off chance that she was hungry. And again, today is typical by no means. It was kind of a mess of a day in terms of food for her. I decided to cut up some banana for her. This is how I cut up her bananas. If you did not know, if you take a banana and you stick your finger down the center of it, it should split into 3 sections. I do this and then I just cut the little sections up into bite-sized pieces. So I gave her maybe 3/4 of a banana, as well as a Stonyfield baby yogurt. She wound up eating all of the yogurt. She really enjoys these, and I think at this point she was getting a little tired. I think we hit a point of overtired. I've been trying to transition her to one nap for the last week, and it was going well for the first few days, but this day and the days after it, I could tell that she was just hitting a point of being overtired from the lack of sleep over the previous few days. So she was zoning out a little bit. Her eyes looked so red. Her face was so red from digging it into her bed trying to fall asleep. So she wound up really just eating this peach yogurt and maybe half of the banana that I cut up. And then I decided to put her back in her bed and really try and give her a good nap. I think total so far on this day, she slept for maybe 20 minutes, broken up between the 2 car rides that she took today. So I knew at some point she was going to settle. She had to have been tired, but because of those choppy car naps, it really made for a super messy afternoon for her. So I finally put her back in around 2 o'clock, I think it was. I also needed a little sweet treat at this point, and my favorite is to take a Chobani yogurt. I really don't care what flavor. I like the raspberry, I like the pomegranate, I like the cherry. I go ahead and add some mini chocolate chips to that just to give it an extra sweet edge. And thankfully, while I snacked on this, Lily did fall asleep, but it did take her quite some time. And I like to have her up by 4 o'clock the latest, no matter if she's taking 1 nap or 2 naps in a day, just so she can go to bed at a normal time. And she was not happy waking up. I think she only slept for maybe 45 minutes. She really took quite a while to settle. And like I said, I think that's just because she was overtired. So she was sad after her nap, but I decided to give her a pouch again just because she really didn't eat too much volume throughout the day. I wanted to give her something that was a little bit more calorically dense. I think this pouch was like 90 calories. She wound up eating the whole pouch and a few Annie's cookies. And then for dinner that night, she loves these Purdue popcorn chickens. I air fry them at 410 for about 7 minutes. And then I cut those up. She has anywhere between 5 or 6 on a given night. It just depends on how many I take out of the bag. And so she had those with some blueberries. That was my taco bowl. I ate the entire thing with some tortilla chips. Dinner tonight was a hit, and it's so easy. Once you put it in the slow cooker to cook, you just shred it up after the 4 hours. And then I put out a bunch of sides like guac and pico and cheese and all that. So while Lily finished her dinner, the boys swam in the pool. She wound up eating all of it, and we finished dinner around 6 p.m. I forgot to show you guys, but she did wind up having an 8-ounce bottle before bed. Okay, excuse the Miss Rachel on the background, but I wanted to go ahead and close out today's video. I'm sitting here with little Lily. We just finished physical therapy for this week, but I wanted to close out today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Yesterday was definitely a bit of a chaotic day, which made for just like a chaotic feeding schedule for Lily. I definitely had to move a lot around. Normally with her 1 nap, she'll have lunch anywhere between 11 and like 10:45 and 11:15, and then she'll go down for her nap at 11:45 until around between 2 and 3 she'll wake up, and then she'll have her afternoon snack after that and her bottle after that. Yesterday obviously she had her bottle before her nap. She had more of like 2 big snacks instead of 1 lunch, and so we just kind of go with the flow on days where we know we're going to be out and everything. But typically she has 20 total ounces of milk in a day, 8 in the morning, 5 in the afternoon at some point, 7 before bed. She'll have more of like a snack sort of breakfast since mornings are usually super busy, but I am going to change that once the boys get started on school. And then she'll have lunch and a big set snack after her nap, and then obviously dinner. So I hope you guys enjoyed this chaotic what we eat today. Also forgot to share that I had a Klondike bar for dessert last night because I'm the type of person who always needs a little sweet treat at night. So with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.